is Michael Watts, and that's my best friend Casey Jones. We are extremely excited that you guys have decided to come and look at our discussion, because that's what this is. This is a discussion. Just want to kind of give everyone a heads up. We are going to be pre-recording the first few shows, but hopefully in the near future we're going to start going live stream so that everyone can participate and everyone can have something to say. We don't really know how the format's going to go. We are just starting this, but we want to make sure that this is for everyone. You will, as you watch this, you're going to see the personalities of Casey and I come out, because we can be a little different sometimes, but we hope you guys appreciate it. And like I said, coming in the near future, you guys will be able to participate. We'll take your questions and we'll try to discuss them and see if we can come up with a resolution if we can together. And if not, we can always agree to disagree, because that's what we do. So I'll give you guys a briefer on why we decided to do this. A couple of years ago, well, actually, I can go back a little bit further than that. My father passed away, and for me, he was my dad. Loved him, he loved me, but it was sort of like he was my dad. That's kind of the way of life. You know, he passed away, and then my oldest sister passed away, and then I had another older brother who passed away. But when my younger brother Travis passed away a couple of years ago, it really affected me. It changed things for me. It affected me, my health, my mental state, my stress level, my blood pressure, everything. I even had a heart palpitation, and I thought something was wrong. Went to the cardiologist. He was like, "Nope, you got a perfectly strong heart," and so they suggested that I go to therapy. So full disclosure, I'm in therapy right now. I've been in therapy for like 2 years. So I was talking to Casey, and even though I was going through these things, I know I had Casey, and then I had some other cousins and brothers and sisters that I could have talked to, but I kind of held it in, and it came out in health ways, I guess, mental and health ways. But that's when I kind of called Casey and say, "Hey, I can't take this no more. I got to talk about it." So as we were talking, we decided that a lot of men, women too, people just in general, don't really talk. And I'm here in another state, and Casey's there, and I'm like, I'm not going to bother him, but I decided to talk to him, and he said, "Hey, you know what? You and I have some pretty good conversations. So what we can do is let's kind of talk about it, because I'm sure that other people are feeling the same way." So loosely, what we're going to talk about today is trauma. So, Mr. Jones, can you go ahead and kind of do from there?
Well, with trauma, I think a lot of us, especially black men in general, we we don't discuss it. We don't talk about it. We kind of just find a way to deal. And a lot of times, most times, I think we deal in the wrong way. The approach that you took, that's the way to go about it. That's a that's an ordeal that a lot of us don't go through. Um, Therapy, counseling, it's necessary when we go through what we call trauma. I don't know about you, but I didn't even, the word trauma was not used. We didn't hear the word trauma until we probably were young adults, and it was a word that, we heard somebody was traumatized. Like, well, they were
Yeah,
traumatized how,
yeah,
oh, okay, I've been through that.
right.
But we look at those things and we feel those things, and we go through the hurt, we go through the disappointments, we go through, you know, the expectations that people put on men. And when we fail, we blame ourselves, we beat ourselves up. And a lot of it happens because of trauma that we've been through, trauma that we've been through. I don't know about you, um, how many instances, but I know I've had several. One that sticks out very much for me, and you're familiar with this, and I won't call names, but brief story. Years ago, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was the 1st November in 1989. First no Friday in 1989. It was November the 3rd, 1989. We got pulled over, me and two other cousins, and you didn't happen to be with us that night.
Yep.
You did not happen to be with us that night, and
Yep.
I wish I had stayed home with you.
Yeah, Earl, I remember that because Earl told me, by the way, George, Earl is my dad. He's passed away now, but there were he had a feeling for certain things like, no, you're not going. And I could not understand, like, why can I go? You let me go any other time. But there were times that he would say, nah, you're not going this time. And I was like, of course I was upset, but I mean, what you going to do? He's my dad. So I remember the story.
He was spot on. And I'll keep this story short, but we had gone to a football game, and we were leaving the football game. And as we were leaving, one of the passengers wanted to stop and get, they used to have this little fruity drink called Paradise. And it was one of the only stores that carried it. So we stopped for him to go get that. And not 30 seconds in the store, he came back out. And he was like, hey, we got to leave. They said the police finna come over here and run through this place. And I'm like, what you mean, the police? So we left. We just left. And as we were leaving, a police walked out on the corner, looked down into the car, grabbed her radio, and as we continued to go down the road, another one came from another direction, looked at the car, called on the radio. Immediately after that, 3 police cars behind us. We came up upon 2 more police cars in opposite intersections. Then we came up upon police cars heading in our direction from the opposite direction. And I'm the youngest in the vehicle. I was 15. Driver 16, the other passenger 17. So I told the driver, hey, why don't we turn over here? This is a safe place. If we turn in here and they come behind us, they're looking for us, because there's no way they're going to follow us in here. I just had that feeling like they want us.
Right.
And I asked the other passenger, I'm like, hey, you ain't do nothing when you went in that store, did you? He was like, no, man, I didn't do anything. So we made that turn, and when we made that turn, cops came from everywhere. It was 14 cop cars, lights, guns drawn, guns in our faces. That was one of the most traumatic experiences that I've ever gone through. Just being in that position, I know how someone can get hurt. I know how someone can get shot by the police because we panicked. We knew we hadn't done anything, but to have officers with guns, the barrel of guns in your face, and yelling, and they're aggressive because they're on pins and needles, or whatever it was. We didn't know at the time. We found out later that there had been a drive-by shooting, and they were looking for 2 black males in a 4-door brown sedan. We were 3 black males in a 2-door Buick Riviera. So I understand how that can get misconstrued, but at the moment, yelling, cursing, throwing a stomp down on the hoods. Right. And, we were scarred by that. We were scarred by that. We when they finally released us, because they did have eyewitnesses that came and said, no, that's not them. So they end up letting us go. And I don't know if we ever had any help dealing with that. Our parents tried, they I can't believe y'all had to go through that, but they didn't understand the
actual, the possibilities that could have happened. Yeah.
When they released us, we continued on to the destination that we were going to, which was Midnight Madness. Those of us in our area, we know that's fair. Well, you go and you pay one price, you get on what you want to get on for 12 to whatever. But we went to Midnight Madness after that, and we didn't even get out of the car. Yeah. We didn't get out of the car. We sat in the car and we were like hysterical. like shaking and hard to breathe. And, you know, just to know that so many people go through things like that. So many people go through the losses like you went through. So many people go through in-home trauma, whether it be a one-parent home where there's not that balance, you know, on where discipline is like not discipline, but beatings. You know, there's discipline and then there's, you know,
Separate
overreaction.
things. Yeah.
You know, let's just call it what it is.
So before we move on to the next thing, I wanted to know. So
Yeah.
you went through that with the other guys, and of course I know them. So
Right.
after that, you know, people talk to you. I can't believe that happened to you, so on and so forth. I don't think I ever got the tail end of, okay, your parents try and talk to you, but ultimately, did you ever release it, or were you ever to come to a realization or get any kind of help where you were able to find peace in it? Not
I was
peace,
only
but
that happened when I was 15. The only time that I really was able to seek my break from it was when I had my oldest son. He was born in 1999. So at that time, I'm 25, 10 years later.
but
Because
10 years
then,
later, but wouldn't you be
yeah,
more scared that he would experience something like that? But you found peace. You were able to deal with it when you had your son. Is that what you're saying, or are you saying?
no. That's when I realized I had to deal with it.
I got you.
So
That's when it hit you.
that's when it hit.
I
That's
got
when it hit that this thing still got me.
you. Okay,
You know, because getting ready to have a son, and I'm afraid for him.
gotcha.
I'm very afraid for him.
I understand.
So I'm having to now. It's like I don't the steps that I need to take. I really don't know how to take without sharing with somebody else that I need to take those steps.
Right.
So, you know, as men, man, we don't want to come off like, you know, I can't handle what I'm going through.
I do.
I can't handle what I'm going through because I get shook by certain things, and now I'm bringing a son into this world. I already had 3 daughters, got 3 daughters, and it's different. Not to take away from the daughters, but now I have a son, and I always realize that, you know, we're going to be looked upon differently.
Yes.
And those things, ultimately, I was able to, going back to that night, I was able to draw on some strength that, you know, some discussions my father had with me. And I think about the gentlemen growing up that are traumatized by not having that father, by not being able to have those discussions. See, my dad always told me, always stay calm. No matter what you do, always stay calm. Stay calm.
So
And
So
go ahead.
in those lessons that your dad told you, always stay calm. That's difficult to do, by the way.
Very.
That's difficult to do in situations like that, and having your son and having to have this conversation with your son even before, because I'm just going to assume that you've told him that story from your experience, and so having that story, having to tell him that, hey, this is what went on. You need to be careful. You need to watch yourself. And no matter how much you say it, truth be told, you didn't really do anything to get in that situation. So the best thing that you could have said was always stay calm, because you guys had you didn't do anything. And so that trauma could happen to him or anyone. So I guess to me, I guess the best advice would always stay calm, because there is some trauma that you just can't avoid. I mean, you can't, because it's going to come to you. It's just how we
Yeah.
handle it.
Yeah. And it's some of it happens because of something we're doing. Like you say, some of it is unmerited. In particular, one of the guys that night, he was fearful enough to run. And I was like, no, please, please, please don't run.
Yeah.
We know we didn't do anything. Just please don't run. You know,
Yeah.
because I mean, that was during the same time as the young gentleman that we hear about up in New York in the park where they were wrongly accused. That was the same exact time all of that was going on. So we were hearing about things in these bigger cities that was happening, but here it was on display right in our face. And, ultimately for me, because I really had to dial in, and I don't want this to sound cliche because I know we're going to talk about so many things, but for me, it went back to faith. It went back to faith, because I didn't seek the therapy. I wish I had. I wish I had gone, because I got therapy years later, and it was vital. It was vital to the situations in our lives at that moment in time. But I wish I had gone, but I dialed in to my maker. I'll just be quite honest. I dialed into my maker. I didn't talk to anyone. I got into what, as it's written in the scripture, I got in my closet. I got in that sacred place. I really did. And I didn't go to God with this tight-eyed, well-versed prayer. It's like, Lord, help me, because I'm trying everything and I don't know anything.
Right.
I need you to pull me from where I am, because it's heavy, it's burdensome, and not only do I want to break out of it, I want to know how to help other people break out of it.
Correct. Yes, and I think when we go to God, and I go to God with just about everything, there is a want for it to instantly just take it away.
Right.
It
It's a
rarely
process.
works like that. There is a process. There is a real process in dealing with trauma. And so, speaking of process, and I'm going to go off on a real small tangent.
Go.
When we talk about a process, and I know people like, oh, I want to hear about this old way of slavery and stuff, whatever. But when we talk about trauma, and it's not just us. I mean, Jewish people went through trauma with, and then Native Americans, and I'm a black man. I can only tell you what the things that I've heard and things that from my dad, my granddad, and so on and so forth. So a lot of people want to say, oh, that happened a long time ago and whatever. And so that is not, that does not negate what's going on like right now. Speaking of trauma, because I have a lady at work, she's a friend, she works in HR, and I've talked to her about just regular things that have gone on, while I've been working, and then not necessarily this job, but other jobs. And the hurt on her face, she's a white lady, but the hurt on her face, like, you have to go through this. And to her, that's trauma. It's like, that's trauma. And I'm like, but that's not really trauma. I mean, those are things that
I got something else. If you think
if you want to talk about trauma, there are things, but to her, that was like, oh my gosh, you have to put up with what? It's like, but she knows me, and she's like, but I mean, you're Michael, you're a nice guy, and that doesn't mean anything. So I think there's a certain part of trauma that is suppressed, and it's like, some people might say it's trauma, but it's like, it's just, that's just regular life. I have real trauma that I talk to my therapist about, but what you see as trauma are things that are so ingrained, because my dad was like, hey, you have to be sure, you have to be mannerable, be nice when you're out there, do this and do that, just so you can make sure that you're able to survive, to make it every day, to provide for your family, to do this and to do that and to do and to do. And so I don't think that trauma, I don't see as trauma, because that a lot of that is everyday life. But when I talk about, to me, when Travis passed and I didn't know how to handle it, that was trauma to me. But I think when you talk to other people and you kind of say, hey, yeah, this happened, this person, whatever, and they're like, what? And I'm like, why are you getting all, that's nothing. And so to them it's crazy, but to you, well, that's just part of life. But there's real trauma out there. And as I talk about that, when you went through the police situation and you guys were pulled over, and I remember you guys talking to me about it. I remember the fear. I remember all of that. To me, that's real trauma, and what I went through is real trauma. And I think that love my kids, and one day when I have grandkids, I'm gonna love them too. And when you talk to them today, I think they see trauma as um you won't believe what this lady said to me, and and I'm like, well, that's not trauma. That's not trauma. That's, you just do this and then whatever. So I think there's a difference between because what my parents went through and my grandparents went through, that's trauma.
Yeah.
They went through some stuff, and so it's, we have to take everyone serious, and I
Right.
understand, but I think that sometimes that trauma word is used in such a way to where, oh, I'm not trying to discredit anyone. It doesn't quite meet that
It
trauma.
don't meet
I'm
the standard.
sorry.
It doesn't meet the standard because the generational trauma, ours, it has we have no level what they went through.
Right.
Our kids, what they're going through, we probably look down on it.
Yeah.
But there's so many different things that can be defined as trauma. You have relationship trauma, you have microaggression, you have people that just the way they talk to you in a relationship, whether it's a parent or older sibling. You have people that are traumatized for the way that they are verbally communicated with. To have a child that's always being yelled at.
Mm-hmm.
You got a child that's always being yelled at, and a lot of times it's undeserving. It's because of a parent being just overworked, or as I mentioned before, maybe they're the only parent in the house. And a child really has to go through that on a daily basis. That's a traumatic experience. And sometimes we look at that as like, yeah, I'll take somebody yelling at me in my face versus what I got.
Yeah.
No, yell at me all day long,
Right.
and but it's a traumatic experience. When we were growing up, the traumatic experience for me was, I'm gonna take your dad and me to get home.
So, true, full disclosure with that. Before you go on, and I apologize for interrupting. I
No,
will
go ahead.
I will say this: my older brothers and sisters caught the brunt of most of that. There was 10 of us. Um, I was number 9, and
Right,
so
right,
I have to be honest. I mean, my dad can make you feel kind of small. My mom was very loving, and so deal. And so, but my older sisters, they caught a lot of it. I mean, I got a hit, a spanking here and there, but my brothers and sisters caught it.
hmm
They caught it,
right,
and I,
right.
I and I remember you texting me about how you used to catch it. So you're probably on the same level as my brothers and sisters. So I have full disclosure with, I didn't catch it as bad as they did. I caught it, but nowhere near what they caught
Yeah, they was tired once they got to you. I mean, it's,
it.
it's 10. By the time they got to you, it's like, put them in the room.
Yeah,
you know?
yes, yeah,
But it's so many things that I don't think people are able. You talk about the death of Travis and your other siblings. Um, like who really gets help for that? Who goes and gets help? Because you need it. You need it. I lost a young cousin that was the closest thing to me as a baby brother. He was my god brother and he was my cousin. And I don't, when I went through that, and he was way in California, but we were so close. You remember him.
oh,
I don't
I
call
did,
him names, but
I did.
we and people probably thought that we had plans of doing certain things. And he was 6 years younger than me. And like I said, the only little brother that I really felt like I had a lot of young cousins that I would, that's my little brother. If anybody ever asked me what you wanted for a birthday, I want a little brother. I never had one.
Yeah,
I want a little brother. I have two older brothers. I have two sisters, but I'm the youngest. Me and my sister were raised in the house together. So I dealt with a lot of things because I was the male. I was the one that was expected to protect, Trauma was all around us. I remember my dad was working out of town for several weeks. In the middle of the night, stranger came up to our house, and you know where we lived. We lived in the bottom. Like there was nothing down there. And I might have been 8 or 9. And my mom got frantic, and she calling everybody because this guy is at her bedroom window saying, "Hey, I need some help out here." And I'm 8 or 9. I'm going to get the shotgun. Like, right, let me handle this. I mean, of course, that ain't how it went down.
Yeah.
But thinking about those things, trauma and traumatic experiences, I think they have a way of, just piercing you at some place that they never completely go away. Even with the therapy.
That's very true. And I think the only way therapy is going to work is when you be completely honest when you go to therapy. And I don't know if people are completely honest when they go to therapy, but you brought up a point. You're like, hey, and we need to talk to someone. We need to do that. If you're being honest, a lot of people don't really go. It doesn't have to be therapy. It can be someone that you trust. But still, talking is difficult. I knew I had you. I knew I have another cousin, a female's first cousin who I can talk to, and I have my brothers and sisters. But as I said before, it was I'm good for a bit. I'm good for a bit, and held it in. My health problems started coming, and so on and so forth. So, if we're being real here, who's going like that's not something that we do, because when I was telling a lot of people as we go on, you're going to hear me talk about therapy and the things that we talk about. But when I told some people that I was in therapy, some of the reaction was, therapy for? Like, what do you like? Why do you go to therapy? I mean, that's not something that we do. We don't do therapy. And so
you're supposed to deal with it. Toughen up. Wipe yourself off. Get up.
Suck it up.
Suck it up. Get up. Go get it.
That's right. That's right. You'll be fine. Just keep on going through life, and you'll be all right.
No, you won't. Yeah. No, you won't. If you don't get the proper help, you won't.
Yeah.
It's just as simple as that. And it'll keep manifesting itself. It'll keep coming up. It will cause so many other things to suffer. You said something very key, which was in therapy, be all the way honest.
Yeah.
Be all the way honest. It's people in our lives that need real therapy.
There's a lot of people in our lives that need therapy.
They just want to deal with it however they can, and they want to read their Bible, and that's good. That's well and good, and you should. But there are some other things that you need to do that gives you clarity and gives you a real understanding of why you continue to feel the way you feel.
Yep.
Everything has a place, and therapy is one of them. If I'm not mistaken, it's written in scripture, a wise man seeks much counsel.
That's right.
That ain't just for what you want to, do in life. That's just not for your next big move. That's just not for, a new job or stocks. And, seek that guidance, seek counsel. Of course, the ultimate counselor, but we're going to continue to struggle especially as men. Men, I guarantee you, I can almost guarantee, and I don't have these numbers, so y'all don't hold me to this, but I'm pretty sure, I'm going to just throw a number out. Women seek counseling probably 70% more than men.
How many did you say?
70%.
I have the numbers, and you're correct. Well, actually,
Huh?
it's 70% of adults worldwide experience traumatic events in their lifetime. They say most recover, but women, interesting enough, are the ones who are going to be diagnosed with PTSD more than men. But you was on it. You was on it.
That was just a number I pulled out. But because I know the amount of men that go through that I am in contact with, ain't nobody seeking real help. No, let me not say nobody's seeking it, but the numbers are very small. We deal with it. We go on. We're tough. We're tough. We go on. But you know, there's a saying because that really stuck with me. It said, and I hope I get it right, but it said, hard times breed strong men. Strong men breed good times. Good times breed weak men. Weak men breed hard times.
I've never heard that, and that makes total
And
sense.
let me change the good times, but easy times. Strong men breed easy times. Easy times breed weak men. Weak men breed hard times. Weak does.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Weak does not mean not getting help. It's just the opposite. It's just the opposite. The biggest flex you can have is self-discipline and self-care.
That's true, but that's going to take a lot of reprogramming. Because you know me, when people were saying what I don't care.
I know.
I just don't. I knew what I needed at that time, and I knew I wasn't getting it. But as far as the society and us and men and people in general, but more so men, that's going to take reprogramming like you never seen, and that it's kind of hopeful thinking, but I know I needed it. Yes, I prayed to God and like, Lord God, please help me. To this day, which is weird. Even though the doctor checked my heart and I'm good, I work out, I exercise, all that stuff. Every time I go into the doctor, my pulse go up and my blood pressure goes up.
Yeah.
Every time. And the doctor's like, I don't understand. Well, what is it at home? I tell them what it is at home, but that's good. But when you come into here, I was like, even though I've sought therapy and it's good, and trust me, I'm so much better than what I was, way better than what I was. I still had that little thing of I'm gonna go in here and they're gonna tell me.
They're gonna tell you something.
My brother, right, and that thing, and I'm trying to get past it, but I'm not there yet. I'm just not there yet.
And I think that's probably why. I think that's why a lot of us don't go to the doctor either. Same reason we don't go to therapy. Tough it out. We don't want to get no bad news.
Yep.
You know, women already outlive us for the most part.
Yep.
You know, the things that run in Black men, especially high blood pressure, high cholesterol. Right. You know, the silent killer is the high blood pressure, strokes, heart attacks. You know, we just feel like I remember one person used to always say, you know, hey, I got to die from something.
That's asinine. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I get it. I understand. Yeah, we will all, unless we're here when the Creator comes back, we're all going to die from something. But why do we have to speed up the process? Why do we have to speed up the process? Why do we have to? And trauma breeds a lot of those things as well. The high blood pressure, the high cholesterol. Because I know people who eat very well, and they stay having ailments.
Yep.
It's like there are things that we don't deal with that cause stress, internal stress, ulcers, all of those things.
But changing, it takes work, and you have to do something different. So I went through the trauma. I don't want to talk about the trauma. Well, I mean, you have to go through that. You got to go through that wall in order to get to the other side. And I think a lot of us don't want to have to take that initial, because that's going to hurt. That talking about the trauma and talking to someone, I have to relive that stuff all over again. And you do, to deal with trauma, you have to attack. You should have a professional there to help you to kind of go through it, because going through trauma, when you have trauma, you got to talk about the trauma. And most times, just like I want to change what I eat, I don't want to have to exercise, I don't want to have to do this. Well, in order to be better and to do better, you have to go through. You got to go through the tall grass to get to the to the lawn, to the beautiful lawn. You got to get through it. And I think having to discuss trauma, having to deal with it, having to put yourself in that space again, I think that's a deterrent for a lot of people, because I don't want to have to do that, because even though you have to go through 1 minute of having to deal with it, even though you'll have 10 hours of good, people don't want to have to go through that 1 minute, because that 1 minute is going to be tough. That's going to be hard. And I prefer not to do that. I'm good with it. So, you know.
And here's the other benefit of going through the therapy. There's some things, because I trust you with anything. I trust you with anything.
Yep, likewise.
But there's some things that in some people, in some relationships, that you just can't trust with everything, because even those people, you always, if I'm opening up, if I'm telling, you're always going to leave pieces of it out that you don't want to get back to someone else.
Absolutely.
Well, therapists are bound by law. Unless you're going to harm yourself, unless they feel like you're going to be a detriment to yourself or someone else, they're bound by law not to say anything. So we can't truly be honest with our situation, whether that be a relationship situation, whether that be a medical situation, a loss of a loved one, alcohol, drug abuse, abusiveness, period. We can't deal with those situations with friends, because our friends have another friend. We talk.
Yeah, that's right.
We talk.
Right. And then you say, look, don't say that, but I'm gonna tell you this.
Don't say nothing. This is between me and you now.
That's between me and you.
It's between me and you. Oh, I ain't told nobody else. But then, even if you're trustworthy and they don't say a word, you hear the same story about the same person that 2 weeks ago told you, I'm just telling you. So, you know, we have the ability to go and to get the help, and not go the route of, it's good to have the friend. Absolutely. Everybody, I believe, need those three people. And you've heard me say that. I believe everybody needs those three people in life. Somebody that can mentor you, somebody you're on that same level with, and then somebody that you mentor. Because you really don't know how much you've learned until you pouring back into somebody else.
Very good point. Very good point.
You know, I'm big on duplication. I'm huge on duplication. Duplicate yourself. Duplicate yourself. That's ministry.
Yeah.
You know, we got to quit trying to help a plethora of people and just help one at a time.
Yeah.
But it starts with us. If we can't be better, who can we actually help?
That is absolutely true.
Who can we actually help? Because, you know, the worst thing to do is to try and help someone, and they put all this trust in you, and then 2 weeks later, you're on a crack binge.
That's right. Yeah.
You just destroy all of their hope as well.
Yeah.
So get the help that's necessary, no matter what it is. And I just want to, I applaud you. Like I said, I applaud any man that wants to be the best version of himself. And that takes being a real man and saying, you know what? I'm finna get through this, and it ain't gonna be because I'm Mr. Tough Man.
Right.
It's gonna be because I'm honest about what happened. I'm honest about my past, and then you gotta work to forgive yourself. If the trauma is dealing with something that you've done, forgive yourself.
That's right.
We be beating ourselves up, man. We kick ourselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot of things that we have to feel guilty about, but
you have to forgive yourself, but you also have to, because again, full disclosure, my mom used to keep kids. Okay. And At school, I was whatever. But I was mean. I was mean. And I had to think about that stuff because to this day,
I remember.
I'm still apologizing to some people. I was like, I am so sorry. And they'll tell you, they was like, what? I was like, this is what I did. You know what I did. So I had to go.
Yeah,
Because I don't know the trauma that I caused other people. You know,
exactly.
I don't know. I'm saying I don't know. That's a lie. I do know that I was
Not all of
mean.
it.
Hmm?
Not all of it. You know what you know, but you don't
I know what
know
I know.
the
Right.
trauma that you could have caused to somebody else. So yeah, you're
Right.
right.
Exactly. And so again, I thought about those things, and I had to apologize to people. And say, okay, I caused trauma, and so I have to be mindful of that. And it's never too late to go back and say, hey, those things that I apologize for that, because you never know if somebody's waiting on that. That might change somebody's life, but you have to admit that you did that. Ooh, cause first I hate to stop this like this. But let me tell everybody, guys, Casey and I, we know we're deep into this conversation, but we're trying not to prolong it. We had a time limit that we wanted to set, and we know that there's so many things that we can discuss in this, because you know where I'm going with this, because I'm trying not to go over a certain time, because our attention spans aren't what they used to be, so aren't what they should be. So we're trying to not talk too long where people say, oh, this is a mess, and just turn it off. So we want to make a difference. We want to help as much as we can. We want to discuss things with people. And so, like I said, we're going to be going live in the very near future. But for right now, these are Casey and I are trying to iron out some things. So this particular discussion that we've had is probably it, it's a, what's the word I'm looking for? Because this is
What
a,
it's going to be is continue.
yeah, yeah,
We're not going to stop.
yeah. So this particular one is probably going to continue, but there are so many other topics that we have
Oh
to
yeah.
discuss.
Oh yeah.
They aren't going to
Oh
all
yeah.
be this
That's a good place to ask.
that's a good
If
place,
you
right?
have a topic, that
Yes,
you want to discuss, if you have a topic that you want some insight on from a Black male perspective. Both Mike and I were married. We have kids. I do have grandkids. Mike will have some soon. We hoping and believing that. Boom, it's coming. Um, so we want to just be a help. You
yep,
know, we want to just be a help. We works in progress as well, but we've
absolutely,
also been through a great deal where we can help some folk overcome those hurdles. So yeah, as Mike was saying, we don't want to have it so long where you do click off, but we want you to come back. We want you to be a part. You'll be able to drop any comments in and let us know. Let us know how you think this is going for us, and we hope you're getting something out of it.
yep,
We just here. We just talking. This
yep,
me and Mike. We can
yes,
talk all day about
yes.
anything,
And that's why I had
and
to
trust
stop it,
me.
because there are so many
Yeah,
things that we said. I was like, oh yeah, but I was like, I have to control myself, and our wives are going to tell us what my wife is going to say you should have been looking off like this and doing all that, but I can't help it right now. But I'm working on it.
right.
They're gonna give us all these things, but we want to hear from you guys and let us know what you would, like Casey said, what you want to talk about, different topics that you guys want us to bring out. One thing you will find out, that sometimes our honesty will get us in trouble. So we are honest, but we love you guys. We do. We love you, and it's just one of those things. Hopefully, like Casey said, we can help you guys out. And see, I'm rambling, and I'm supposed to not be rambling.
Before we go, man, rambling is you. That's what we're doing. We're being we authentic. We're gonna ramble. I'm gonna ramble. But before we go, if you are dealing with something, no matter what it is, if it's being estranged from your children, if it's a work situation, if it's marital problems, if it's financial problems, whatever it is, man, go get some help.
Yeah.
That all my brothers, we're talking to everybody, but I'm talking to Black men, I'm talking to white men, I'm talking to Indian, I'm talking to Asian. Man, go get some help.
Yeah.
See somebody, talk to somebody. And if you don't have the resources, a lot of jobs, they have those things available. And, a lot of people just don't know that you can get you can get counseling through your job in a lot of places, not everywhere. but a lot of it has certain sessions you can get for free. But get some help, man. Talk to somebody. It's no need to continue to suffer because, you know, cycles, they just continue. You
Cycling.
don't break out of them, they just continue. It's a rat race, and you're gonna be right back where you started from if you don't get the proper help. So again, we're coming back to you.
Yeah.
But for tonight, that's it. Let's talk with Casey and Mike. Love you guys.
Yeah. Love you all. Take care. Love you, cuz.
Love you, man.